Green from 4MS Company, and we are here at NAMM 2017, and we have a couple new modules we want to show you. So the first one is the stereo triggered sampler. So you can hear it running a little, pretty simple patch right here. What this is two channels, two audio channels. Each one has a control for pitch. So here I can speed up my drums. Also has a control for the sample selection. This selects samples in real time. Different drum patterns here. There are 10 samples per bank, but you can have a quote-unquote virtually unlimited number of banks. It's only limited to the number of colors that your eye can choose. So you can fill up your SD card with samples in WAV format and be able to play them all, reassign them to channels, etc. Each channel also has a looping mode or non-looping mode. These are looping right now. To demo that, let me show you. Turn this channel off. Let's go to a simple patch here. So, pretty simple. You press play. The sample plays. You can pick the sample. Here, you can pick the start position of the sample. Switch banks by pushing the button. Hold down the play button and it loops. Determines the loop length. And it does envelopes, percussive envelopes. You go really fast, you can reverse it. And it does just a attack only envelope. Of course, all these controls are CV-able here. You can sweep through the samples. The pitch control is a 1 volt per octave, so you can use it. There's also a trigger for the play, so you can use it with a keyboard to play your samples at different rates. Over on this channel, we were hearing what happens when the samples are swept. We could also just use a CV to sweep through the start position, for instance, if you want to get a kind of granular type effect. Do a real short sweep. So sweeping through. Or longer grains. Anyways, the other portion of this is the record section, which is what kind of sets it apart from a lot of other sample players you see. So not only do we have 2 channels that can play any sample in any bank, we also have a record channel that can record in stereo any sample number into any bank. So while you're playing, you can be recording something else, or you can bounce samples down, for instance. There's a trigger input to start recording. There's also a button. And the stereo recording is saved immediately onto the SD card as a WAV file, so you instantly have a high definition recording of whatever you just did. This is running at 44 kilohertz, 44.1 kilohertz, 16-bit stereo right now. It can, if you put a WAV file with a higher resolution, like 32-bit float, 96K, it'll play it just fine. We're going to add option to record at higher rates also, so you can fill up your SD card really quick if you want. So that is the stereo triggered sampler. It will be out this spring. We're really excited about it. It's been a few years in the making, but we feel the technologies are finally solid enough. It's super low noise. It's as low noise as the dual looping delay, same topology, and yeah, I think it's great. So
the 2 channels,
yes.
Is one on the left side and one on the right side, or is it?
Yes, sorry.
Or is it stereo per side?
I forgot to explain the whole stereo part. Yes. So you have different modes up here. The left plus right mode, which I'm in now, plays the left plus right channels mixed down to mono for each stereo. So this is a stereo file I'm playing. If I flipped it over to left/right, we're not going to hear much because, but we'll play the left channel of whatever file you have loaded on this channel. This channel will play the right channel of whatever the file is. And then you flip it to stereo link and it will play the left and right channels at the same time out these 2 outputs. So you can do stereo, dual mono, split mono, however you'd like. You can sync the channels so they're phase aligned, but you also can just jam with it however you like. So, yeah.
Excellent. And you've also got another product as well, right?
There's a second one, yeah, we're also showing here for the first time, and this is the Tapographic delay. So this is a collaboration between 4MS and Matthias Puesch, who is, this is the concept from Matthias and software, and then 4MS has done all the hardware and a little bit of some of the user interface design. What we have is a it's stereo output, mono input delay, and it's a multi-tap delay. So you can give it an input signal. Let me I have a sampler down here. Let me load something up. How about a drum sample? Okay. So if you are listening at home and you hear this in stereo, you should hear a nice, stereo panning effect, back and forth. So what this is, there are presets up here of taps. So you can select it. Hold on, let me get the sound running. Okay, there we go. Okay, so what we can do here is create a tapping pattern by tapping on this thing. So let's start over. Let's just make a new one. I cleared it out. So let's say I want to go bop, ba da bop. So I can go bop, 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 bop. So that was velocity sensitive. Now there's my pattern playing right there. Now if I play sound in, I'll get that echo. Let's turn it up a little bit. Okay, so that's cool. So I can repeat it too. I can also add some feedback like a normal delay. Okay, that's going to get out of control quick. So you can also add more taps and you can assign them to a bandpass filter, a VCA, or a low-pass filter. Each tap will run that through. So let's say I go back. Let's make it a little bit simpler. Okay, so I can add more taps. I can make a resonant one, flip that switch up. So you can hear that. I can extend the time in my... So the velocity controls the center frequency of the resonant filter. VCA controls the amplitude and the low pass filter controls the cutoff frequency. And you can delete the last two. You know, each time you press delete, it deletes the last one. Now if I let's say I like this pattern, I can save it in a preset. Okay, so now it's there. Now I can go to another preset. So here's another one. That sounds cool. Here's another one. That's cool. Another one. Right? I can also run a sequence. You go to sequence mode. If you hold these buttons down, you can run a clock in sequence around these two automatically. The morph time is how long it takes to crossfade to the next pattern. You can do really thick textures. You have a time knob, which is the scale. So this is the overall length of my pattern. That, modulation. Effect. There's 32 LFOs that modulate the taps. There's maximum 32 taps. Dry, wet, speed control on everything. You also can bring this down a little bit. You can also use it with an external clock. There's a sync to an external clock, of course. So if you're running a loop in there, you can have it synced up. So it's a pretty interesting concept of a different type of delay. So you have to kind of think about it differently than you would just like an echo or, you know, for Pertronics type thing, because you actually have 32 different delay taps that you can work with. So it gets can get really full and really rich really quick. So yeah, we'll be releasing this also this spring after the sampler by Super Boost. Hopefully, that's the goal, to have it out. And we look forward to having more of these in the world too. They're pretty cool little devices. So
what was the price on both the sampler and the
We haven't announced the price yet. I mean, the reason we're not shipping right now, we haven't secured all the parts yet. So until we know for sure everything's in line. But they will be about the same as our last two modules, the spectral, the dual looping delay. It's about similar amount of stuff on there and about work to build them. So expect it about in that price range.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks.